Well, hello everyone. Thank you guys for coming over. Hello Yellowstone. Let's give it a few minutes. Thank you so much, Lucas, for doing this with me. I appreciate it.
Yes. Glad to be
Oh,
here with you, Kevin. Glad I could do this with you. Known you
I
for quite some
know
time now, and you've been watching my channel for a while, and watching your channel, and got to meet you at the Oktoberfest, and that
that
was a great time.
that was fun.
Yeah.
Fishtoberfest was fun, and so was Dallas. Those both were
Yes,
fun.
yes, the Aqua Show.
I really enjoyed both of those.
Yes,
Are
very
you are
great
you
shows.
uh are you planning on going to the Triple Crown?
I am, so I've got the hotel booked for it. I am planning
Awesome.
on going
Yeah,
there. If I
airfare
go to
right
one show next year, that's going to be the one that I go to.
airfare right now is that's a pain.
Uh,
It's quite high right now. I'm waiting on the airfare. Got the hotel book. Just waiting a little bit
and
for the airfare, hopefully to drop. We'll see. Let's see. Hello Yellowstone, Ian, Majestic Cichlids. I believe Kenny just ended because I think
Kenny.
everybody is coming on in. Yellowstone, MNC Aquatics, hello. DLC Aquatics, Jimmy P,
Oh,
hope you are doing well. John the Fisherman, Master Aquatics, just call me Eduardo. Hello, Eduardo. Uh, Joe, hello. Hope you are doing well. Ian, Carol
oh.
Cox, hope you are well.
Hello, hello,
Byron,
hello.
hello. Papa Shrimp, hello. Hope you are well.
Nice
Lori,
to see all
hello.
these
Thanks for
great
coming
people.
on in. Michael Long, Lumpy Dog. Peplin, let's see. Kenny and Danny are in here. Val, Moda, Skipper, hello. Let's see. Vinoxky, hello. Hope you're well. Scott. Matt, hello. Dennis Christensen, hello. Larry D. Let's see. Who else is in here? Fishymon.
Oh,
Yes,
the
we can
hashtag.
see you. Hashtag can you see me? Yes, we see you, Fishymon. Let's see. Who else came in? Let's see. GRB, hello. Who else did I miss? I think that's almost, yep, that's everybody. Hello, everyone. Thanks
Cool,
for
cool.
stopping in. Thank you so much for doing this with me, Lucas. Hope you had
Yes,
a very good holiday. Happy holidays to you.
same to you, brother.
Happy New Year. Hope you had a good one. Hope it
Yeah.
was nice.
It was not too shabby. I can't complain. Life's good. It's
Good.
the
I
little
know
things
you.
in life you got to take the appreciation out of, too.
Oh,
Whether
heck
it's
yeah.
the new year or not.
Definitely. But it's always nice during the holidays, spending time with family. Hopefully, you got to do some of that. And just,
Yes,
I mean,
indeed.
even
That's
if
my favorite
just
part of
being
it.
able to enjoy and spend time with family. It was a little bit hectic and always fun. Let's see. I went over to my grandmother's house and then we went and drove and saw to LA, and there were 14 of us. So that was fun.
Oh, wow. That's a bunch. So,
Yeah.
like a whole clan.
Yeah.
That's
There were
awesome.
a lot of us. That was interesting, but always getting to, or it's always fun getting to spend time with family. So I hope you had
Indeed. It's the best part.
a safe and healthy, or yeah, a safe and a healthy holiday. Let's see. Did I miss anybody?
So,
Oh,
how many
hey
tanks are you
George.
up to now, Kevin?
Only 9. I think I need what?
Only
How many
9?
more? Well, what? I only need like what? Like 300 more to catch up to you. What are you at
Oh,
now? What are you at now?
well, I actually did a count the other day, which I haven't done in a long, long time. It's been a long time. But I'm up to 181
Hey
tanks and
DLC.
118
Okay.
containers.
Hello, Mexicali. Wait, how many containers?
118.
Oh, wow.
And then
Nice.
181
That's
tanks.
awesome.
So
Yeah,
it's a little crazy.
okay. Yeah, I figured around 300. I was actually
Yeah.
surprised when you said only 180. I'm like, is that right? I feel like you had more than that.
And you
I
got
don't know
2
why.
puppies,
I
right?
felt like you had more. Oh! Oh. Yep, I have. This is Fender. That's my guide dog. And Kelly. Oh. And that is Kelly. So you met him, I believe, both times. You saw him.
Okay.
And then she's 10, so she's living the good life. She's at home.
Yeah, they both look happy. Especially
Yes,
her. She's just wagging that tail.
Yeah, she's a good dog. They're both very
They're
good.
adorable.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the kisses. Yes. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Oh my.
But yeah.
I have to rate this PG after that.
Hello, Fish Tropics. Yeah, I guess I should have warned before that, huh? Guess I should have warned people before that, huh? Let's see.
They're
Who
sweet
else?
pups.
Fish Tropics, hello. Hope you are well.
Fish Tropic.
All right, Lucas. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
About myself?
Yes.
I mean, I do know a little bit about myself, so I guess I could.
Just a tad, I hope. I hope you can answer that one.
I would hope so too. It'd be pretty crazy if I couldn't. But yeah, a little bit about myself. I run a YouTube channel as well. I have hundreds of aquariums, and I've gone through the process of keeping filters and this, that, and other, and then have slowly learned to get into Mother Nature more after keeping ponds outside. Implemented that into the fish room, and now I try to teach others the same as far as trying to connect more with Mother Nature, not trying to overdo it and create more human error into their fish keeping hobby, which in turn will hopefully save some fish and time and heartache and money for people. So I just try to teach that to people with my channel as I share what I do and all that. And I also go around the country and give talks and stuff too about that.
Yes,
and other things.
And you also go to the events, which is always fun.
Yes,
always
yes,
very
I love to go to events. The events are the best. If you've never been to any of those events,
I saw you twice. That was so much fun.
Trying one out, checking it out. Even if you're not that social, or even if you are really social, even better, because the people around, we all have the same thing in common, is we enjoy aquariums, we enjoy fish, and everybody's just so cool and chill and calm in the hobby. Because it's a zen hobby.
Hello, Casual Aquatics. Kenny says, LOL, Lucas. Makes me feel normal, LOL. Yeah, Kenny, you're not normal either. You're not normal. LRB just takes it to a whole nother level. You take it to a level, and then LRB just takes it to a whole nother level. Always
what
fun,
is
though.
Normal? Is
Good
normal
point.
a real thing?
Good point. I will give you that.
Because even the people that think they're normal, I wouldn't think they're normal for thinking they're normal.
Yeah, that's true. How long have you been keeping fish for, Lucas?
So my dad always had tanks growing up. I didn't get one personally myself until I was in middle school. And it was like a little 29-gallon. I got to keep rubbing those in. I mean, I did have tanks where he always had like spare tanks. We'd throw creek fish and snakes in and stuff like that. Oh. So I guess I was keeping fish before then. But I started getting into the actual aquarium fish around middle school. And started keeping rummy nose and kept a few other things like ball of sharks, which I shouldn't have been keeping in a 29-gallon. This, that, and other. And then I went off to college eventually. and didn't have any aquariums. And I decided to get back into it because I didn't have anything else to do. I wanted to do something with my time and something I always enjoyed. And I just wanted a few fish. And then I
Hey,
found this
Shingy girl.
plant section at the fish store. I
Oh,
was like, oh,
jeez.
whoa, you can put plants in these aquariums? I didn't even think about that. And as soon as I learned that you could put plants in aquariums, it was over. I got online. You had plantedtank.net back then, monsterfish.net, the Aquaria Central, all those forums. I was getting on there. I was trading all kinds of plants. There was a buddy I had nearby that taught me all about CO2 and all that stuff. So I just started going
Wow.
gangbusters. And that was right out of college. That was probably,
Oh, wow.
shoot, 15, 16, 18 years ago. I can't remember. Long time
Too
ago.
long ago. Too long ago.
Yeah.
Don't need to count.
Right. Then I kind of bounced in and out of the hobby a little bit. And then about 10 years ago, I really started like sinking my teeth into it.
Nice. Yeah, I know.
But as
You've
every
got
year goes
a
and
ton.
evolves, you learn more and more. And that's what I love about it. It's like forever learning something. And there's always so many ways to do it, so many variables, so many types of plants, so many fishes. Like you could do it forever and still not know it all.
Okay. What is your favorite type of, or what is your favorite type of fish or
My
species?
favorite type
Like
of fish. So,
favorite species or
right,
fish?
favorite species. So that's really hard. So I can't just pick one favorite type of
I know.
fish.
I know.
I can't even pick. Yeah, like as far as like having a favorite tetra or a favorite rainbow, I don't know if I like tetras better than I like rainbows or barbs or catfish. I do really love. I'll tell you some of my all-time favorites are like the blue Galaris is one. The cardinal tetras, absolutely adore those.
Yeah.
Coolie
Cardinal
loaches are great. I
tetras.
actually don't have any of those, but I do love coolie loaches. Always love those.
I never seem to
Techni-
see them though.
No, yeah. See, that's the thing about them is you don't hardly ever see them. The trick with those, if you do want to see them, is to keep a bunch of them.
Yes.
And they love snails.
Hello,
And have
Leo.
like rock piles and make them feel safe in there. They will come out. I've seen tanks like growing up. My dad had some tanks with coolie loaches, and he would do that. He'd put multiple ones in there. And since he had other fish in there, they'd still come out. You'd see them zigzagging and wiggling and wriggling everywhere. I gotta let my cat in. She's about to destroy my door here. She'll sit there and pick and pick and pick on this door. It's
Yeah,
pretty cold out lately.
I just let my two dogs in and then they wanted out again. So
Yeah, usually she stays out, but it's been like really, really cold here, so been bringing her into the garage. Come on, girl. Squeaker, she's a talker. That'll be the hardest part when I do end up moving is moving the cats over the fish tanks. Which I guess we haven't talked about that on here yet, but we were talking about it earlier.
Yes. So you are moving. How's that been? How's the house search?
It's going. We got an offer accepted to the one that we want to buy. Now we have to sell this house, which we've been talking to somebody trying to make a deal with another business because essentially it's a fish farm. It's like turnkey, ready to go. Like you could really create some cash flow out of it. It has great ROI on it. But I gave them until this week to come over and look at it, but I haven't heard from him in the last few days. So I don't know what he's doing. The person who knows him says that he could have even went out of the country. He goes all over the place all the time. So we don't know what's going on with that. So I'll probably end up making a video still on YouTube and offering it to everybody else. But I did want to give them first dibs because it was just going to be an easy deal if it did transition that way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's a working process. But we just need more space. We're ready for the next level and to go bigger, really. I can't fit many more tanks in this space or ponds.
Yes. That's always the struggle as a fish keeper. I have 9 right now, and I'm like, okay, I can't. I don't know how. I don't really think I can fit many more in this space, but I want more.
Right. You can never have enough. Ever.
Never, never. After
Hmm.
after you got MTS, it's hard to go back.
Right, right. Especially if you let it get real severe.
Yeah, I think it's too late for me there. Um, what what is your favorite plant and why?
Do what?
Favorite plant?
My favorite plant?
I
Pearlweed.
know.
Actually, I do have a favorite plant.
Really, pearlweed.
Even out of all the plants, pearlweed is
Is
probably
that
my favorite plant.
is that for mainly for? I'm assuming you use it a lot for breeding too.
So yeah, breeding and just keeping fish happy. So it's real bushy and it's kind of compact, but not too compact. So fish can still get into it and shrimp can get all into it. So it creates like this metropolis in your fish tank. That and you can take a clump of it, set it in your fish tank. You just set it in there, just throw it in there. It doesn't even matter how you do it. If you can't get that thing to grow, I don't know. You either got too much flow. That's usually the reason why you can't get it to grow, especially with mosses. If you get that flow going on them too much, it just keeps them too active. They don't like that so much. They like it slow and easy. But with that pearlweed, you could either just plop it in or you can bury it into the substrate and you can cut it and create a carpet out of it. Real nice carpet. Or you can bury
Oh,
it and let it grow up as a bush. And then you can even sculpt that bush. I've done tanks where I've had nothing but that pearlweed and you can like sculpt it
oh,
into like hedges and all kinds of like if you got really talent like skills with it and took the time, you
hey,
could probably
Vazine.
create like a little sculpted bear or something if you wanted to. So it's really neat in that sense. And then
That's
also you could
awesome.
just float it at the top of the water and create a marsh
Hey,
out of
John
it.
Larson. I yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, well, that cover is awesome. I will say one thing that is nice. I will say that I kind of like Java Moss a little bit more, but pearlweed you can get so much more of, and it grows so much more quickly, which is nice.
Yeah, it's really versatile.
It's a really easy, versatile plant. You can have it in the substrate. You can have it floating. You can attach it to things. Oh yeah, no pearl. I'm actually surprised you said pearlweed, but pearlweed is an awesome plant.
Yeah,
I will
I
give you
love it.
that. Even for breeding, it's nice.
Yeah, like spawning mops works great for spawning mops too. Those egg scatters works phenomenal. And it grows moderately quick, but not too quick. So I think that's the reason why I'm able to pick it as a favorite plant is just the versatility. It goes so many directions. And I don't know any other
And that
plant
is
that
what
really
fun
does
it is.
that.
Hey, Aqua Gardens in. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could kind of get Pogo Stemon to do similar, but it doesn't grow as fast. I will say the one nice thing about it is you can get a decent amount of it, which is really nice. What um what got you into YouTube?
What got me into YouTube? So this is actually a pretty funny story. So I used to be way bigger on Facebook and do mostly stuff on Facebook. This was years ago. I don't even know how long I've been on YouTube now. But I was answering so many messages on all the groups and forums, and they thought I was a bot. And they had no customer service because they were like, oh, you're just doing way too much. Because there's constantly people asking me questions. So they banned me for 24
Okay,
hours first time.
that's
Got
funny.
back on for like maybe a week, and I was like, I'll just take it easy. I won't do as much. Like I started doing more, and then it did the bot thing again. So I was gone for 2 weeks. So I was like, well, this doesn't make sense. I can't help anybody. There's people who want and need their questions helped, and I can't even do that. They literally got fish needing help. and I couldn't do that. So I ended up looking into other avenues and then got onto YouTube. I figured I could make a video, then that can help so many more people too than having to make the singular messages that go through groups. Because you know how that feed and scrolls, like once it goes through the scroll and
Yes.
the feed, not many people are going to go back up and look for the information. So the same question will get asked 1,000 times. But here on YouTube, you can have it cataloged
Hey,
and
Alex.
journaled and reference it to anybody who needs that information. So it
Yeah.
only made sense. And I was actually pretty shy. I wasn't that, like, I'm an extrovert and introvert. It all kind of depends on my mood. YouTube definitely helped bring me out of my shell more. So it was kind of a learning curve, just getting out of all that and just getting in front of people and doing that whole thing. So yeah, it was just being able to get
I
information out, and the fact that you Facebook didn't have any customer service and thought I was a bot.
I kind of I find that kind of hysterical, but
Yeah, it
I
was
can
pretty
definitely
crazy.
see that. I didn't even realize that Facebook would do that, but
Yeah,
that's
the wild
that's
world we live
interesting and
in.
funny.
Yeah,
Yes.
I guess they say everything
Hey,
happens for
Sunset
a
Jen.
reason. So
Yeah. Well, I will say that it takes a little bit of getting used to, which you seem to do a very good job of it. But I don't know. For me, one of the things that I always find hard about YouTube is I am an extrovert, so I don't mind doing this. Hello, Joseph Stanley. But talking to the camera and talking to myself, I kind of feel a little bit stupid. I know I'm talking to chat, but when I'm on here and I'm talking to the camera and I'm just
uh,
talking, I'm always like, yeah, I look really stupid here, don't I? Just
and
like
I
on the
see.
phone, just doing it. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's the one thing that I will say that I'm like I had trouble getting used to is just being able to go on and talk to everybody in chat. But I know I'm also just talking to myself because I'm reading chat and doing it on here, but I don't actually have anybody that I'm talking to.
right, right. That's kind of funny though, because I mean, I know how you can probably feel that way. And I mean, I guess I may have felt that way at the very beginning, but it did not take long for people to like, you get into the chat and they like, the community really comes out. And if it wasn't for the community, shoot,
Yep.
I would not even be close to where I am. They
Yep.
definitely helped pull
They
me through
are
all that and like
they are
give me the
amazing.
confidence to be doing this and even share with everybody. And like, so I feel like I'm talking to everybody, like talking to the community, like a ton of people whenever I get on these. So I don't know. I don't really get that feeling anymore where you feel like you're talking to yourself. I feel like you can definitely sense the community and feel them.
Do you Hey, Mountaintop Puffer Keeper. Hope you are well. What other hobbies do you have?
What other hobbies do I have? So I've actually been through tons and tons of different hobbies, and that's why
I
I
can
absolutely
imagine.
love this hobby. Is because
Hey,
it's like
Jeremy.
one of the only hobbies that you can do and never get bored of because there's so many different ways to do it. Like basketball, football, track, archery, bowling.
Oh, wow.
Um, let's see, I don't even know what else. Pond building, I guess that was a hobby. Shooting guns. Um, I don't know, you name it.
Hey,
Boating,
Scuba Steve.
skiing, wakeboarding, tubing,
Nice. Wow.
fishing. I've got
Yeah.
all kinds of hobbies, but you know, those only go so far. This hobby you could do forever. And I love to build
That's
stuff. And actually one of my favorite hobbies is to self learn and always be learning something.
that's the thing for me is there are different things that I like to do and I don't know, when I get into something, I get into it and I go a little bit too overboard, but I
Oh
will
yeah.
say the and so I get into it, but then I get out of it. Also, I get out of it like there's like a 6-8 month span where I'm all into
Yeah.
it, and then I kind of get out of it. And so that was me with art. There are certain parts of art that I really enjoy doing, and I do it all the time. And then I kind of took a step back from it, and I find something else. But my aquariums are the one thing that I'm like, I really enjoy, and I am so into, and I'm like, okay, so I'm really into this right now. And then a week later, it's like, ooh, now I'm really into this. Like I'm
Right.
still into all of it, but I'm like, ooh, this is the next thing that I'm so interested in the
There's a
hobby.
lot of
It's
rabbit holes in
awesome.
the aquarium world for sure.
It's like there are way too many rabbit holes. I don't think I've gotten to shoot a fifth of them, a 20th of them. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no,
But
it's
that's
a
what makes it
big
fun.
rabbit hole. Well, because there's so many different things you can do that make it just it is really, it's a great hobby, and I really do enjoy it. What advice would you give someone who's getting into the hobby? If you
What
were
advice would
if
I
you were
give to
getting
somebody getting
into the
into the
hobby?
hobby? Is try not to overthink it
That's a good
and
one.
to just
Yeah.
watch my channel, really. That would be
There,
the easiest way to say it. I mean,
I I will say the one thing that I can count on is either looking at one of the three of yours, Kenny's, yours, or Alex's, or even Jason from Redfish Bluefish. And I can go to one of your channels or even Primetime or one of those, and I can go on and I can search for it, and it's on there. There's so many videos that I can just go in and I know I can find one of your guys' videos and
yeah.
one of you guys has done it.
I think there's like maybe 500 or 600 videos that I've got cataloged so far.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
well, I know that I can look at one of your channels, yours, Kenny's, Alex's, Jason, Primetime. I mean, I can go into any of yours, and
And that's a
I
great thing
find what
about
I
the
need.
internet
There's
too.
so many videos that
Right,
I'm
right.
like,
So
oh,
do your
I can
research,
never
in
get
other
enough.
words. Do your research, make it simple, try not to overthink it. Think about Mother Nature, think about where your fish comes from, be your fish. Like really think about where that fish comes. If you do that, if you just really think about where that fish or shrimp or whatever it is, where it comes from, the actual body of water it comes from, and how it lives out there, that'll teach you so much. Now, even though one of the hardest parts can be getting healthy and good stock to begin with, because sometimes, I don't
True.
know, I don't go to the fish stores as much, but I know some wholesalers, like it's turn and burn. You can't get diseases here and there, and that's what complicates things. But even whenever you come to that, there are natural methods to fix those problems, like the top of leaves for bacterial and fungal issues. I've even battled bacteria with beneficial bacteria, like the dirty stuff out of a good filter. That way
Yep.
it dilutes the bad bacteria, and the good bacteria will actually overtake it. But those are really the hardest things that most beginners come ahead of, and it's when they start throwing in all kinds of meds and trashing the cycle of their tank, then they
Hey,
start
Skipper.
killing all their fish instead of just that one fish with the problem that dies. So
Yep.
don't freak out. Try to take human error out of it. Look for natural approaches to your situation.
So what was your most difficult experience keeping aquariums? I know you probably got a lot,
My most
especially with
difficult
so many
experience? Well,
different.
that's not true. I've had many difficult experiences where it's just like taken a lot of time to wrap my brain around certain things. And that's how I've got to a lot of the conclusions that I have in this hobby. But about the most difficult is really dealing with those diseases and new fish. So getting new fish in and trying to keep that from getting out in the fishing. Because if you got hundreds of aquariums and you get a disease in one of them and you ain't paying attention, then you start getting that disease in every other tank. Good God, the amount of money that meds would cost you alone would be insanity.
It's crazy. Yeah. Well, especially with with the bigger tanks, and then also with the vault, you've got what 300 different containers and tanks in there. So if you
Right.
had
Just the
to,
work
that would be a
alone, let alone
lot.
paying for the meds. because you'd have to work all those tanks because you got to water change all those in a certain amount of period of time. So you got to do med where it's 72 hours, then you got to do a water change. That adds up. That gets crazy. So now I quarantine everything for at least a month. And I have learned another lesson from this as well, is a quarantine's nothing but a new tank. So if you ever want a new tank, get yourself a quarantine. Especially if your spouse is giving you troubles about it, just tell them you need another quarantine. And then that should help you go along with your MTS.
It's a quarantine tank, and they never come out.
Right, pretty much.
Starts as a quarantine tank, and they don't come out of there.
Right. So then, I mean, I do section, like my fish room is zoned off. So like this rack's the whole zone. This rack's actually a different zone as well. As far as like, I have different netting and everything for those racks.
Yeah, I was gonna say having a net or a different net for each tank, that would be kind of hard.
Yeah, but I mean that's almost what I got. I kind of deal with, if I got a lot of long rows, I'll maybe have like 2 or 3 nets for that row.
Okay.
Yeah, but that helps things from not like getting all crazy if there was any kind of issue come through. But really, ever since I started letting Mother Nature do everything, like literally in some of my tanks, I am growing my own dirt just from decay and breakdown and cycles of it all throughout just years. It's crazy. So like the tanks are actually getting overgrown by weeds.
So when you have your tank, when you set up a new tank, how do you set it up for do you have certain tanks for breeding and then certain tanks that you sell out of?
Yeah, so
you've got 3 different rooms, many different rooms in the house.
There's actually 7 different rooms. 7 different sections.
Okay, excuse me, 7 different sections. That's a lot. So how do you?
It's a few.
Because I'm assuming you don't go, like when you're fulfilling an order, you don't go from one room and then go all the way across the house to go and catch fish out of another tank. So how do you?
Yeah, sometimes I do.
How do you do it?
I'll go run up and down the stairs with fish sometimes, and I'll mix them around here and there. But it is best if you can kind of utilize certain sections, which I was planning on doing. I just haven't gotten to that point because I'm more of a collector, and I need space for fish usually, and so I try to squeeze in what fish I can where I can. You know how that goes. And
squeeze tanks in where you can.
Can you repeat that?
I said just squeezing tanks in where you can.
Yeah, definitely.
Just finding places. Always need to help with that MTS. So just finding space to put another one.
And I did forget the question. What was that question? I kind of got distracted.
Hello, Thunder Aquatics. Oh, I was asking how you section off to like when you sell. Do you have breeding tanks?
Yeah. Breeder tanks and what I do with the new tank.
And yeah. Like
so if I were to set up a new tank. So if I were to set up a new tank with fish, I'd just have glass, the substrate. I'd get me some plants, get a few fish. The thing is, you don't want to throw in a bunch of fish all at once. You can. I actually do that at conventions where I throw a ton of fish in a brand new tank. I'll set it up that day. But I'll do is let me flip you guys around and get up here. I don't know if I can flip my cam around or not. Let me see if I can.
Yes. So do you see the gear icon on the bottom?
Yes.
Click that.
Camera.
And then
front camera. Okay, back. Here I'm finding it. There we go.
Hello,
I do have these sponges. So these sponges hold all that mulm and all that filter stuff that people clean out. That's actually that's the good stuff right there. That you can actually fight benefit or bad bacteria with this stuff. This is the good bacteria. So as things flow through it, eats it up, the compounds, all kinds of stuff. And I'll squeeze that into a tank, and that'll pretty much cycle it up that day. I'll kind of swirl it around, maybe let it sit for an hour or
Thank you,
two.
Mary
And
Page. Hey,
I
Fish
mean, really,
Dynamics.
that's a new tank after that. I
It
don't
it
like to wait for the
always
cycle. I do have
okay.
video that I explain it a little more.
It always feels really weird to get a nice brand new tank that looks really nice and then go and put a dirty sponge in there and
It does.
just squeeze out a dirty sponge and put it in there to get all those beneficial bacteria. I'm always like, okay, yeah, I feel a little bit crazy setting up a brand new tank and squeezing one of my dirty sponge filters in there.
Right.
Always feels so weird.
It does. Yeah, it seems like it's not something you should do. Like, here, look how much dirt. That's almost like what that stuff is. That's all from
So,
just root material that has broken down over time in here. This is
okay.
sand, but it looks like dirt.
So
See,
when
there's
you
more mold. Look at all that
Oh
mold.
wow.
And
So
people
you
say,
don't
"Oh, that'll kill your fish or whatever." Like,
okay.
no, it won't.
So
Fish love
you
that stuff.
so you when you do a water change, how often or what's the maintenance look like when you cuz
Actually,
you've got 300 tanks. So what does the maintenance look like on the tanks? Like on a
you would be
daily or
surprised
weekly
how
or
much I
whatnot?
actually really don't do. So, so as far as like a lot of these tanks, they have hardly even
Visine.
gotten a water change. And like in this room, I have been picking up a little bit, like on this rack, maybe 10 times in the last year, but some of these tanks, maybe just a few times in the last year. Now, I'm not saying
Okay.
that that's always like that's the best way to do it, because the water changes do help, especially with plant growth. If I were to do water changes and be on a scheduled water change and I was farting all the time, I would totally be in over my head with plants. Like, this whole garage would just, like, I wouldn't be able to move around in here. Or algae would just take over, because what happens is if your plants grow too much and you don't have enough time to pull them out and scape them or move them around, that algae will take its hold because the plant's choking itself out. So I do less maintenance to kind of manage the time and the maintenance
Okay.
with all these aquariums. So there's a big balance into just those systems alone. But since I've been doing that, that's how I've learned so much about Mother Nature and how it really goes, because I get to see these fish breed and grow up in these tanks that really are very, 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 very low maintenance.
You also keep more nano fish, right?
I
When you
do keep
have
more
them.
nano fish. So when you do get into bigger fish, they have bigger waste. So it would take more water. And I do think you need
I
filtration
figured
for
as
them, just
much.
because they have more ammonia
Okay.
and more waste coming off that, and more food. So when you're feeding smaller fish, they tend to eat most everything, and you don't have to feed them a ton, and they don't waste as much. So the plants kind of help balance that. But if you have enough plants with big fish, you can do it too. It's kind of like, think about it as a wetland, as your water. So if
Okay.
you got enough plants and root systems, say even if you got those monster fish that love to tear up plants, you can even create floating marshes that will help soak up that excess nutrient and all that. So there are ways about it. It's just a little trickier.
So when you're so I think I kind of asked, but when you're setting up a new tank, do you have a different setup for if you're going plants or if you're actually going to be selling out of it or breeding in them?
So that all depends. So like if I'm just doing shrimp, I'm gonna add like rock piles in for them. If I'm just
Okay.
gonna breed a fish, I'm gonna think, maybe I need just moss for this fish, or even algae. I love my algae tanks for breeding fish. They're one of my favorites. And then as far as selling fish, you won't see any driftwood, like not much driftwood in a lot of my tanks, because just trying to catch them, you get driftwood in your tank, and then you're trying to catch fish after them. That's a real pain in the butt. So if I got fish or tanks that I'm going to sell out, I try to make it easy for myself to catch the fish.
I feel like trying to get around those plants sometimes can be kind of hard, though. They're like
Yeah,
darting
yeah.
in
So
and
it's good
out,
to have
and
them in like that biomass, that
yeah,
like where there's
okay,
one big biomass of like moss or pearlweed where you can just kind of move it to the side and just
yeah.
go straight
Because
for them. Matter of
otherwise, trying
fact,
to catch them is
let
always
me try to
hard.
change you around here. I haven't shown this much to anybody yet, but I have been using these. So, like these
Oh,
fish are ready right here. I have been keeping them in here, so it's just pulling this out, and I'm able to scoop all these fish up pretty easy without having to chase them down. And
oh,
I got a few of them floating in this big tank.
okay. So you've got a big tank, and what are they inside of? Is that a
This is
mat?
actually for like paint buckets to screen paint and purities out of,
Oh,
and you can get the mesh at different microns. So it's like a 5-gallon bucket paint strainer. If you wanted to look
and they're
on,
and they're in there. Oh,
do what?
okay. And they're on there. Okay.
Yeah, and they're in there. So I've got rice fish in one. I've got longfin danios in another. I think the other one has longfin danios as well.
And I do see your guys' questions, and I will ask them. I see some questions, so I think I see like 4.
Okay.
I was looking, I didn't see too many others. I think I got most of them. So Leo 209 Aquatics asked, "What do you guys think is the best betta to get?" I don't know. You don't have very many bettas, do you, Lucas?
Actually, I've been way down the rabbit hole of bettas, and I have
Oh,
bred
have you
some
been?
crazy bettas as well. So the cross rays are really cool, but they're hard to keep the rays all spiky and stuff. But I really love the 7-color Nemos.
Okay.
But really
I
with
don't.
bettas, there's so many colors. It really depends on what you want. Like there is some really, really, really cool bettas out there. Matter of fact, I got one betta right now. It's in with some rope fish and panagaras and rainbow fish. I'm actually planning on doing a TOT of that here soon.
Cool. Yeah. I
That's
love
a
those
series I do on my
TOTs.
channel, This Old Tank.
I like the TOTs. Hey, Swampy. Hope you're doing well.
What about you? You got any bettas that you love? You keep any bettas?
Uh, I had some. I don't have any bettas right now. I don't. I don't know. For me, it's hard to find the room, so I try and keep what I can, and in more of a kind of a nano community tank, because otherwise, with the way I have my room set up, I only have like 9 or so tanks, so I have to kind of choose which fish I want to get as best I can, so that if I need to, I can always move them and put them together. It's always good. It's always better when you have them to put species only, but sometimes
Yeah.
I want to
Oh
be. I
no,
want
I
to.
totally.
I need to be. I need to be able to, if I need to move them, to be able to. So for me, I don't have any bettas at the moment. I did.
Oh, I totally feel you on that.
Hey,
That's why
Elizabeth.
he's with my rope fish and pandagars and rainbow fish.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those
So
giant bettas too. You ever seen one of those giants?
yes,
So you can keep them
yes.
in community tanks too. I love putting bettas in community tanks.
Yeah, but it depends on the personality and the
It does.
temperament
It
too
really
of
does
the
depend on
betta.
the
So
personality.
it makes it a little bit hard sometimes.
It does. It's a gamble.
Okay, so Alex's question a little bit earlier was, LRB, when did you learn to sing, invent the "We've got some Q&A to do today" song? P.S. How's that Olympic-sized pond apocalypse
Oh
going as winter hits?
So I don't know. As far as that Q&A song, I don't know. I always just kind of sing little
I love
ditties as I
that.
go through life because I don't know. That's just how I am. So it
I
just
always
came up
love
to me
that
one
one.
Friday night.
I also like your Mr. Pleco one. I think they were
Oh
commenting
yeah,
on
the
that one
Mr.
earlier.
Pleco. Where
Hey,
the
Jimmy
funk
P.
yet? Mr. Pleco.
Jimmy P says, Kevin, move the bed out and get a sleeping bag. Yeah, I think I'd rather sleep on top of the tanks, not
Yeah, there you go. Make a
not
bed frame out
underneath.
of
I
tanks.
don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know about sleeping underneath. That might be a little bit too much. I don't know if I feel comfortable with that.
A tank bed frame.
Yeah, there you go.
You could
I
do
think I
like
saw
40-gallon breeders. Like, let's see.
There you
You could
go. You
probably
can get
fit like
yeah,
6
you
of
can
them.
get like
2 on one
you
side,
can
2 on the end.
yeah, at least you probably could get more under there.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And the ponds are going good. I mean, they're pretty icy right now. It's kind of weird because the weather lately, it like iced over and then it rained. So I had like this iced over pond, and then there's like a pond on top of the ice. So it's like 2 different levels and layers. But it's almost done. We just got to do some finishing touches. I just kept making the project bigger and bigger and wanting to do things, but it should have a update on that soon on the channel.
Awesome. Yeah, that'll be cool. Okay, so I think oh, yeah, I didn't mention this earlier. Kenny says, "What? I didn't know you liked to bowl, Lucas, or we would have gone bowling, man." Yeah, I think for Lucas's sake, it might have been better you guys didn't go bowling together. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Oops, didn't mean to. Oops. With all those incidents, I don't know. Would going
Right.
bowling with
I would
Kenny be
still
the
go
best
bowling with
option?
Kenny, even though
I don't know.
there might be a chance of a incident. I would risk it to
All
go
right,
bowl
there
with
you go.
Kenny.
You're a braver man than I am. Let's go there.
I'll even bring
Yeah,
my own ball,
you're
Kenny.
yeah. Um, Alex asked, "Have you noticed old tank syndrome in those tanks that are filterless, low water change type tanks? What do you do if a swing happens?" I'm
What
also
is old
guessing
tank syndrome?
monitoring.
What would old tank syndrome be? So the only swings that I see in the tanks would be as if I just kept topping it off with RO, and then the plants would eat up too much of the mineralization, then it'd get a little more softer and acidic. The only thing that I usually see an issue with that is less breeding within the guppies and endlers. But besides that, I don't even know what old tank syndrome would be. Considering these are old tanks, but they're still just ecosystems balanced out doing their thing. So I'm not sure what old tank syndrome would really be. Do you know what it is, Kevin?
Oh, yeah. Well, so sometimes old tank syndrome, if because it's the tank is older, sometimes it a lot of people will say that tanks crash because they're
Oh.
older tanks and the because they're so old. A lot of times, sometimes your cycle and your balance will be thrown off, just because it is an older tank. I believe. I don't know. Alex might be able to answer that a little bit better than
I
I
think
can.
that just probably an excuse
Let's
somebody's looking
see.
for to look the other way of what might have really happened. Because I don't see that happening. Because even as things break down, like maybe there's a fish diet in there, and then that caused the balance and may get confused with old tank syndrome or something, or he pulled out a bunch of plants and that kind of crashed the balance. But usually algae or something will take that key away. Or if you do over clean, well, that's definitely going to crash too. So human error, I would think, would be usually misconstrued as old tank syndrome, in my opinion, in my experience. And I've got some old tanks.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to do that, Chris Robertson. And then Ian, as it is, my two dogs don't let me sleep on here, and it's a queen. And my two dogs take up the whole thing. They will not let me sleep. And unfortunately, the two of them are on their way before I am. Let's see. Oh, and then Casual Aquatics. Pearl weed you can use. You do have to clip it a little bit more, but I would think, isn't pearl weed probably the easiest carpeting plant? What would you say is the easiest carpeting plant? Because a lot of carpeting plants, if you want to
As
get
far
a good
as
carpet,
keeping,
CO2.
it would be easy. Yes, pearly would be easy to keep, but the maintenance would be more than some other plants.
So if you, especially if you didn't have CO2.
Right. There is a grass, bellum. The bellum grass is one that you can grow without CO2, but it does take longer to grow out, and it'll take a little bit of time. But once you get it going, it looks really nice. And as far as like carpet plants, I really don't use much of them because of the maintenance that's involved. I never have time to be able to keep up on carpet plants. Glosso's a good one, but it's a slow grower too, can be. And then algae, actually, believe it or not, algae makes a great carpeting plant.
I don't know. I'd have a little bit of trouble getting or being able to control algae to be able to get it to carpet. Because if you can, algae can look really cool on the bottom of the tank.
Yeah. Actually,
oh, geez. Of course
I have
you
one
do.
going on here. Let me
of
show
course
you.
You do.
I have to turn the light on. This is one that I recently done, and I haven't really showed many people. I've got a few where they do this, but this one's kind of different. Let me flip you guys around. All right, back camera. Boom. So there you can see the algae carpet in there. So you got like the sand, the rock, then the different level of rock, which I used that geotextile fabric to keep that sand from going down, to give it that different elevation.
Oh, wow.
And you
Oh,
just
my
see
God.
the hair algae.
Okay, that is cool. That is
Perfect.
really cool. How did you get it to carpet like that?
It's actually, what these are the aquarium co-op filter pads. So they hold that
Oh,
waste
my
and
God.
whatnot.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Squinkers.
That is cool. So, oh.
But yeah, you can see swordtails are all over the place. These are breeding like crazy. Here, if like give this like 2 months, this tank's just gonna be absolutely full of swordtails because they love that algae. This is a constant food source for them.
Hey, GRB. Yeah, wow, that is cool. I don't know how the heck you were able to get it that. Wow. I don't know. For me to be able to control the algae like that's, because to me it would get all over. But wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, like it might cycle up eventually. If I do a water change, it should shorten it and keep it from growing too fast. I'm sure it'll go through cycles, maybe. I don't know. I'm sure I could cut it too if I really wanted to. It's a deep tank, so it might be hard to do.
Hey, my fish tanks. Hope you're well, John.
But you can use like little trimmers to mow it, make it easy.
That is cool. I love that.
And that's a 215 gallon.
What?
That's a 215 gallon tank.
Okay, sorry. Looking at it on camera, it does not look quite that big.
Yeah, that's a chainsaw up there, so.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
I think it's what? 6
yeah,
foot?
on camera with no reference, that's kind of hard to tell. Doesn't look quite that big. What's floating on top? Are those the dishes?
Yeah, those are the tubs. So I got like pearlweed in this one, which has a bunch of rice fish in it. Which that pearlweed's actually getting too big. Let me see if I can zoom. I don't know. You guys can't see that in Zoom, can you? Then yeah, like Daniel's in there.
Cool.
And then water Sprite. Just floating.
Okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's awesome. I love your tanks. You brought algae to another whole new level in a positive sense. Yeah, I know, right? Fish dynamics. I was thinking the same thing. That carpet, oh my gosh, that looked amazing. I didn't realize how big this tank is either. That's a huge tank.
Yeah, so I was actually making a video on this. I haven't quite finished it yet, but I guess you guys get a little sneak peek.
Well, thank you. That's cool.
You're welcome. To put them back to bed. This is where I hang the hoses. So I have different size of hoses for changing the water too.
Okay.
So say I want to do a quick water change, I use bigger hose. Want to do more detailing, I'll use a smaller hose to buy me more time.
Yeah,
the big hose
smart.
will pull the water out way faster.
Yes. I know I'm having that issue because I think I need to get bigger hose or switch out the one that I have right now. Because it takes forever to pump water in and take water out.
Yeah. Just get a bigger gauge hose and you can do it a lot faster.
Yeah, I need, especially for that 55, because that's the main tank that I use that 55-gallon barrel for.
Oh.
And it takes quite a while to do. The 10 gallons, I don't really, it's interesting because if you have more tanks, a lot of times it's more work. At least most people say it's more work, but I don't really touch those 10 gallons too much.
Right,
like
right. It's
I
all
just
on how
top
you
off.
do it, really.
I just top off, and I seem to be doing all right with them. I think one thing that I need to figure out is because I have that one. One of them's a blue dream tank. One of them's a fire red, and then the other tank I took down on top. But I really want to be able to keep some Caridina because I think that would be better in my water.
Yeah, you have that soft water already, don't you?
Well, it's weird. It goes from like 10 pH out of the tap, and then once it's bubbling, it has an air stone in there for like a day, it goes down to 6.
Yeah, so do you have a well?
No, I don't.
No?
I use
city water?
Yeah, I use city water.
So
San
what
Francisco.
tends to happen when that's happening is that pH will also pick up hydrogen, and there'll be a lot of gases within that water.
Probably.
And that's what's giving that real high pH. So what a lot of people do in that situation is go ahead and put it in a container before they add it to their tank. That way it degasses overnight. Then you would have really good success with Caridina. But that's what I've been using. Swing might mess with them.
That's exactly what I've been doing. So I have that 50 that I have like a 30-gallon barrel that actually I can show it. Which camera is it? This one. I have 2 different cameras that I use for
Get it switched here. Hello, everybody in the chat. Let Kevin get all settled up here. Read the chat a little bit. Yeah, a little plug for Aquarium Co-op there. Corey's a good guy. Scrolling. Don't see any questions. BBA carpets are so cool. Yeah, the Blackbeard carpets are really cool. Looks like a teddy bear all over your tank. Mexicali Fishkeeper asks, have you ever used a plenum filter? So no, I think it's a little excessive to go and use a plenum filter. There's not really any need for it. I mean, it's a cool idea with the fluidized bed and everything, but definitely not necessarily necessary. And I think it might keep the tank a little too clean. Because what happens is in these aquariums, you need that microbiology to do a lot of the work that we don't even think about. So if you're messing with a fluidized bed, all that microbiology that would be living in your substrate or sand or whatever, that's going to be doing the job of breaking down this, that, and the other that Mother Nature puts into the aquarium and helps balance it. Then you're taking out one of those um, things to the equation, which will just create an imbalance, and then you'll end up seeing algae here. You'll be messing with that over there, or maybe you get some impurities in your tank, and then your fish and tank and ecosystem could be more susceptible to it. So it's almost along the lines of going too clean, in my opinion, with those plenum filters. Easiest plant on your site to grow and propagate. All of them are super easy to grow and propagate due to the fact that they're all pretty much low maintenance and I hardly do much with them, so they're really easy. But besides that, like pearl weed, guppy grass, Brazilian pennywort, any of the valves, mosses, crypts are a little slower and stuff, but yeah.
So I have my
plants on
50.
there. There it is.
I have the 55-gallon barrel with all of the stickers, both
Nice.
from all of the channels, and I've got the
I like
Perm
that.
Co-op ones. So I'm trying to start my collection of them. I started a little bit late putting them on there, so I don't have quite as many as orders. But yeah, that's the barrel that I use. But
Very cool.
I only really use that for my my 55-gallon. I don't use that quite as much for my 10 gallons just because it's different water. So I usually just use that for my Neo for my Angels and not so much for my Neos. Let's
Yeah, I'm
see
sure
who
your
just came
Neos.
in. Hey, Nola dolls. Neos need a higher pH, so I usually remineralize that beforehand, and I just use like a 5-gallon bucket. Take one or two, like one a day, and just change out 5 or 2.5 gallons. No,
Very cool.
that is not a moving bed filter. That is a 30-gallon barrel that I use to add water in and out of my 55-gallon, or more, add water into my 55-gallon barrel, or into my 55-gallon tank. I use a 33-gallon barrel. I have the pump, but that's a little bit too annoying. I have another one that I probably will use instead, but right now that's the one that I'm using. Let's see. GRB says that is the best use of fish fam stickers I have ever seen.
I
Nice
agree.
work,
That's pretty
Kevin.
good use for
Yeah,
them.
I was talking to Petraman, Joe, about that one. He was the one that suggested I do that. Because I'm like, I don't know. For me, like, I have some on my tank, but you can only put a few on there. And I have that just to hide the annoying, it's a reef tank, so I have a weir there, and I just have that there so that it doesn't, it's not quite as bothering, because it's just black, and for some reason the way they made that tank, it's in the middle. Why they did that, I'm not quite sure. It's
So
not
is that
on
a
one side or
freshwater
the other.
tank or is it an actual reef tank?
It was a reef tank.
It was a reef tank. Okay.
It was my grandfather's tank, actually. It's
Oh,
probably
wow.
like 30, I want to say like 40 years old, 35,
Wow.
40, 35 or so years old, because he had it when my mom was very young. Yeah, he used to, he didn't use it a long time, so it's
That's
actually in
pretty
pretty
wild.
good condition. But yeah, so that tank is my angelfish tank. Like to get a rack there, and then I have a Pleco tank with my super reds.
Nice.
Alex, you were asking, I don't know if you, I didn't see a comment back from you, but you were asking Lucas about the old tank syndrome. What do you mean by old tank syndrome?
Yeah, I don't really get the old tanks.
Inquiring minds would like to know. It's a little bit, yeah.
And somebody asked about M&C Aquatics asked any advice growing S rippins. So one of the best things to do with the S rippins with this is to make sure you trim it and keep plucking it apart. Because if you don't, it'll grow up, it'll get stringy, and then it'll pretty much kind of like grow itself up and out of the tank. And to where you won't get as good propagation from it. So you got to keep it kind of short and keep it propagated. That's why when you see people farming them out, they'll sit there and farm just like it's like a whole 40 gallon of like bits and pieces of it everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
And they even got that
want
purple
it to get too big.
reapings like stuff too, which is really cool.
About time. Jeez. Hey, Brian.
What's going on?
Hey.
Hey,
brother.
What's going on, buddy?
When you
Nice
were going
to
to
see
be
you,
in
man.
here.
How is it?
It's going good. Just chilling.
Nice. Hold on, let me turn this up a little bit. I'm getting deaf in my old age.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I know how that goes.
I was doing the earbud thing, but I don't want to mess with anything. So he sent it to my phone, so I'm doing one of you now. I don't do the phone stuff. But yeah, Kevin, I had a bunch of questions for him that I was never able probably over time that has come to me. And so he sent me a link. He's like, come on up and ask him. And I was like, I was hoping that you didn't mind if I came on and asked you a couple questions about selling, fish and stuff.
Yeah, no, not at all. I was wanting to do a live stream with you for quite some time now, and
yeah,
I didn't tell you until like the next New Year and stuff. And
yeah.
Situation. So even if you want to do it sometime on your channel as well too, we could do it.
Yeah,
here
that'd be incredible. I was telling Mr. Leong that when he came on my stream, I said, Mr. LRB said to give him till winter time when he's not so busy. Yeah. I said, but I just get back to work, since I broke my neck and everything. It's since I've seen you last, I'm now back again. I just got back about a month ago. So yeah.
From breaking your neck?
Yeah, when I saw you, my neck was still fractured pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, they hit me in the head with a load of lumber and fractured 3 of my vertebrae in my neck.
Oh my Lord, damn.
Yeah. That's why I've been streaming for 2 years and not working. So
ouch.
Yeah. But I'm better now. So I'm down at the nuclear power plant in Newport. Okay. So you being in the construction business, I'm sure you may have heard of that at some point in time.
Newport in which state?
Michigan.
Oh, in Michigan.
You know, Monroe area.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's south. I don't know where you are actually, but that's why I didn't know with it just being a power plant if you've heard of it before.
Yeah. Well, we've got a Newport, Indiana. We've got a coal plant down there and some other stuff.
Okay. So how far are you? What are you? Is it if I was because who was it? Vinny's Aquatics was on my stream tonight, and he said how cool it would be to be able to come to your house and check out your stuff like before you move.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, I mean, LRB would probably kill it if he charged a cover. Just before you move, be like, yeah, everyone can come in for, $45. You know, it's kind of like going to a concert. Oh, he left. Oh, there he is. And yeah, I told him, I said, yeah, I don't know, maybe you want to contact him before he boogies down to where he's going to be sweating all day. I told my wife, you're moving. She said, is he crazy? He's like going where it's really humid. I was like, I don't know. I think Shrimp Jesus is going to be Mr. Clean soon because he's going to end up shaving all that hair.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so.
Well,
but
hopefully we'll have a swimming pool to cool off on, and I'm like living to a hot
but
rock,
I mean,
so that heat's good for me.
Well, you better just hope you don't prune too bad because you might be in there a lot.
Right.
Is your pool screened in?
It is.
Yeah, that's because of the cockroaches and the lizards
and bugs.
Yeah. My brother lived there, so
yeah, it's pretty wild down there.
It is. It's. I've never been there, but I just hear it's really nice. It's really nice.
See, I grew up a country boy too, so this is like the ultimate country.
Right. Yeah, I'm a bit jealous. But now you said the house or the house is a little smaller than what you were looking for, but the property's big.
Right.
Now is it so since you have no problem like redoing, I'm sure it's not going to be the same, but having what you have now, but outside. I mean, are you going to be able to keep as many types of species as you have now with a smaller house? Are you going to have it all outside? Really, just move it all out there?
Yeah. So we don't want. We'll probably like have a tank or two in the house, maybe. So start off in the garage. They've got like a 760 square foot garage that I can start off in, and I'll start off in there. But then I can also dig little ponds here and there all over the property.
You're going to build a pole barn, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna build something. Well, see, we've been talking about a pool barn, doing like a barn-dominium, like a 10,000 square foot barn-dominium, and just go crazy with it. But at the same time, I have a degree in design and I work construction and I've done contracting work. So I kind of want to build my own super house to where it's more connected to the land. It's like earth walls with windows. I don't want to talk about it too much because
correct. Yeah.
I want
but
to
it's
save
just
it,
it's just good knowing that you're going to build a large structure though. That'd be cool.
I want something really spectacular and something that I would love.
Nice like that.
Something more open, so it's like really connected to Mother Nature more, and yeah, just more room for more space for more fish. And as far as I'm going to keep it, like I'm going to keep it pretty much the same as I keep my tanks now.
Yeah, room for mosquito bites and all that good stuff.
Yeah, well, preferably not a whole lot of bugs. The ones that get the bugs will be the ones in the little ponds and stuff.
All right, so you are you going to go maybe a little bigger with some fish? Are you going to go, because of where you're at now, I mean, and if you're going to do a lot outside, I mean, so I know you go ahead.
I want some bigger ponds. So there I can have some bigger fish as well. There's already peacock bass on the property and tilapia.
Okay.
So that's a start.
Wow.
But definitely want some koi. And may turn the pool into a discus pond. We'll see.
Now what are the ponds just dug in the ground or?
Yeah, so they're actually spring fed. So
shut up!
Florida,
really?
I got to talk to the homeowner.
Hey, Mississippi hippie.
This last Thursday, we flew down there for a day to go check it all out. And he was saying there's like 6 foot of sand, and then you hit this limestone, and then you got to break through that to get to the groundwater. And he's done that, and he said it took him like a 30, 40 ton machine to even break through that to get it all out.
Oh, wow.
But he's got 3 ponds that are like that he's got a spring fed through all of them.
Wow.
Yeah, and then there's like a stream to the side, so whenever it's wet during the summer, the water level rises over there. So it'll connect it all more. And I would like to set it up to where you can go kayaking and it would like go underneath our future house and stuff. Ideally, what I'd like to do is the house that we would be living in for a while would just end up being in-law suites after a while.
Oh, that'd be
So we
cool.
can
Yeah,
just
that would be
keep building to the property because I love to build stuff.
Right.
And this will give me property to build all kinds of things.
Now, is there acreage or
5 acreage.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. That's a lot. I mean,
and a potential of 5 more on the other side.
Oh wow!
Ooh, somebody's gonna sell, huh?
Well, I mean, they've been talking about it. It would be financing at this point. We're already trying pushing it on the financing with this.
So let me ask you this:
moving anywhere close to Father Fish?
Go ahead. Yeah, Mary Page Flynn.
Mary Page was just asking if you were.
Am I moving anywhere close to Father Fish? So yeah, Father Fish will probably be, I think, an hour, maybe less than an hour and a half from me. So Venice is on the same side. I won't be far at all. So I'll definitely be visiting Father Fish for sure.
That would be fun.
Get some dirt ponds going.
Heck yeah. And actually, the substrate that I plan on using in most of those tanks is just the sand around the house.
Right.
I love sand for my aquariums.
Yeah, it's almost all of my Neo tanks there and all my fish tanks are all black sand.
Yeah.
I
what
like
black
white,
sand do you use? Where do you get your black sand from?
The freaking pet store.
The pet store?
Yeah,
I've used some that I haven't been a big fan of, but I usually use the white sand.
I think
so. I don't know. I'd like to find a good black sand. I
bought Mary. I think I got her like 100 pounds worth, but they had, or I think they still have. I think I got it not too long ago, but they've been having a sale on Supernatural's white sand for like 50-pound bag for $20 that you get shipped. It's not too bad. It's actually a pretty good deal.
Is that through Petco or something?
Oh, yeah, Petco.
Okay, that's a really good deal.
I forget which one, but yeah, it was 50-pound bag for $20. I'm like, wow.
Nice.
I never see that. I got like 200 pounds. I need to buy some more soon. And then I got Mary Page like 100. She's like, okay, I saw somebody coming up to my house with 2 bags of sand, and I'm like, yep, that was Kevin. Kevin brought that. I'm like, yep, well, you said you needed sand, so here you go. You got more than you need, but at least you got more than you need.
Right.
Not too little. I know you said you needed some sand, so here you go.
You can never have
Maybe
enough.
make an aquaponic house would be cool. That would be cool.
That would be pretty neat.
That would be.
I don't know. The brand isn't anything special. It's just black sand. You know, it's not. I don't know. It's like $15 for 20 pounds or something.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I mean, I tried the white stuff. You know, I when I got to the Neos, it was you know, I thought that, you know, putting certain colors on certain colored substrate would the biggest thing, like let's say with cherries. Okay, yeah. I thought if I put cherries on a light substrate, it would show me all the ones that need cold. Yeah, no, that was the whole tank then.
Yep. You
so
want black sand for them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but those, you know, so then I'm, you know, siphoning it out or pouring black over the white, and then, you know, same thing with blues, and you know, then you realize, you know, it's kind of like fish when they're comfortable. You know, their colors change, and you know, they look really good, and so, but yeah, so everything's black now. Even my shell dwellers, the guppies, I just got my wife some figure 8 puffers. Got her 6 figure 8 puffers, and they're in a 32 BioCube. She just loves. I got gulper cats, 2 gulper cats. They're black sand.
Those things are crazy.
I mean, they have personalities, you know. They got a big, huge smile, and they'll eat.
Oh, yeah.
They'll eat you, you
What
know.
have you been
But
feeding them?
yeah, they're really, you know,
Yeah,
they're not
GRB.
mean. They're really nice animals, you know. They're good fish, you know. And but then in the discus tank, my 125, I have the stuff that you always buy, the crushed stuff. What is it? What do you buy?
Crushed coral?
No,
The
LRB.
GH booster?
No, your substrate.
The crushed? Oh, the Eco Complete?
Yeah, my 125 is all eco complete, and it's full of discus
was
and got
that?
my 2 big severums in it.
How much?
Nice.
How much was it? How many bags of Eco Complete did you? Because Eco Complete is not cheap to get.
No, but when you got a buddy that owns a store, it's, you know, I get lucky.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I really don't
There
pay
goes
for
the
much,
flex.
but he
That's
looks, you know, I give him shrimp and he gives me stuff, and he's a very, very good guy. Very good guy. He
That's
owns
nice.
something
Okay,
fishy
that
in
makes more
Westland,
sense.
Michigan.
I was gonna say, I'm like, yeah, no, Eco Complete is great, but it is not cheap. It is.
Well, you know, when
Oof.
you're doing you know, your main tank, you know, you go out, you know, like Lucas always sits by his one tank that's packed full. And I mean, you want your certain tanks to look a certain way. So if you spend a little more on substrate, you know, it's only one tank. I don't have super expensive substrate in every tank. That's why everybody says, well, what do you use in your Caradina tanks?
Glad you like it, man,
Stratum.
Paige.
And they're like, Fluval Stratum, doesn't that stuff wear out? And I'm like, no, it's the best substrate I've ever bought for Caradina shrimp. I mean, I got.
Yeah, I have some. I need to set up a tank with it.
Yeah. I just watched a guy make a YouTube video the other day, and he said that he's been running the same Fluval Stratum for 4 years, and his pH is still at 6.2.
nice.
You know, look, like I tell everybody, when I got into shrimp, when I got out of breed discus, I got into shrimp. Flip Aquatics said that Fluval Stratum, it's the way to go. So I was like, all right, sounds like it's the way to go. And so I got it, and I've had it ever since, you know. And now everyone's like Brightwell this, Brightwell that, but they don't sell Brightwell by me. But they sell a lot of Fluval Stratum.
It's really hard to get Brightwell.
Yes.
Only thing about Fluval Stratum that I've heard is over time it gets very fine. It gets very dirt-like, and a lot of people don't like that.
Well, I think how I agree. But what I found is if you pour the substrate right out of the bag into the tank and then fill it up, it's full of that crap. But if you rinse it out first, you don't have as much. And like when I reset a tank, I take all the shrimp out, take everything out, and then take it over to the sink, and I just start rinsing it out, rinse all that stuff out, and it's brand new again. And I mean, it's really silly, the stuff that I can do this stuff, and it doesn't break it down. It doesn't get weak or anything.
Okay. What about the buffering capacity?
That's what I'm saying. I'm at 6.62 all day long. It doesn't change. I'm good.
Oh, okay.
My shrimps breed like, you know, I got them out pimping, so it's good.
Nice. That's awesome.
Hey, but Lucas, I got a question for you. Actually, I got a couple, but I don't want to use them all until I get you over in my crib. But this is just, you know, it's very important for someone like me, you know, that the reason I got into this is because I love doing it for one. And, you know, I've bred discus for a long time. I used to sell discus. I really enjoy it. I've done fish for a long time. But when I got into shrimp, I thought, you know, my thought process was different, you know. But anyways, we'll save that for another day. But when it comes to selling, I thought, well, okay, if something was to happen to me next week and I got hurt, I couldn't work no more. I want to be able to have something that I make close to the same amount of money that I make a week now, or let's say a month, or let's say a year. I want to at least be able to make that same amount of money. When I hear you talk sometimes, I don't think that I'm understanding. Like when you say, or I've heard you say that, like if the house sells or whoever buys it or something, it could be like 6 figures in a year. Now,
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
question
James. Thanks,
is,
James.
is that selling out of all of your tanks, or is that just like half of what you have?
That's probably like 25%. That's like I probably operate this fish room at 25% of its capacity to that amount.
See, that's
Dang.
what I look at, because it's like, does somebody have to have 300 tanks, or let's say
No.
200 tanks to make $100,000?
No.
See, and that's what a lot, I think, at least me, and I watch you all the time, I just never understood, or I never caught that part. I don't think you ever put that part in.
I don't
because
usually
I was like,
talk about that much.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's why I was
Sounds
telling
like you
Kevin
watch my channel.
when Kevin came on earlier, I said, if he sold out of every tank, he would have to say, call me back in a week when I make it to the other side of my house and I get to that tank, because you know, there's so much. And I was like, there's no way that he's breeding 300 tanks. That guy, I was telling him, I say, you run around so much, your wife's got to chase you down with a sub and a drink, because I said, that's why he's so skinny, because he's running around doing this stuff all day. But I was very curious on how much it takes to have a lifestyle of comfort.
Yeah, and that's exactly
Okay.
what it's a lifestyle. Definitely a lifestyle. And my girl does have to chase me down with drinks and subs still. But like a lot of my tanks, since I am a collector, I use a lot of them for collecting. Like a lot of my tanks, I have not even sold anything out of.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I know you do your guppies and you separate the females from the males. Your endlers, you do it too. And then like when you're getting ready to run out, you start putting them together, create stuff, do whatever to, you know, and like my wife says, man, that stuff sells for a lot of money. I said, yeah, when you sell a trio for like $35, yeah. I said, you could make some loot.
You actually think about guppies.
No,
when it comes down to them, considering you
dirty.
can colony breed them and everything, for per fish, what you get out of them is really a good deal. Because say you sell a pair for $20 or $30, that's $10, $15 a fish.
Yes.
And that's about as much as like some rainbows will go for. And a rainbow to grow out will take you dang near a year to get to that size to sell. But a guppy, on the other hand, doesn't. So the real trick is just giving a lot of variety. So doing plants, doing shrimp, doing guppies, doing other fish, and just having like your rares, your commons, your in-betweens, all that, and just offering varieties for different keepers, really. That's a big trick to it.
I mean, so what is your... is your main hustle more nano-y fish than like, let's say your rainbows, the bigger,
Yeah. So as far as like the specialty breeding, I don't do as much with that anymore because it takes more time.
Oh, for sure.
Dedication. So most of my bread and butter at this point is just what kind of flows through the fish room, and that's shrimp are always going, guppies are always going, endlers are always going, plants are always going. I mean, literally, they almost become like printing presses. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, no, yeah, I understand what you're saying, yeah.
Because, I mean, those plants will grow and grow and grow and grow. You pull out of them, they grow back. You pull out of them, they grow back. I mean, if you, like, looking behind me, you got all that Brazilian pennywort. Like, I can't even keep up with it all. There's a huge market and demand, and I haven't even barely scratched the market. We import so much. There's lots of room for American breeders and farmers for sure.
Yeah, I was seeing something recently about that. It wasn't Dustin. I was watching something and they were talking about breeding, not breeding, but raising plants, even just cuttings, and doing that instead of importing so much and bringing it here. Because a lot of that stuff does suffer a lot.
Oh yeah.
Being shipped so far.
And especially
now, is there anything that you will not leave that house without?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm saying, all the, your, let's say, your basic stuff, foods and everything. But I'm saying, is there like plants and stuff that you will not leave with that, no matter what anyone offers you when they buy that house, that you won't leave? Oh yeah. I figured.
Those barbs definitely. Those are coming with me. Yeah, there's plenty that I will want to take some of. Like I've got plenty to share to the person who would take it. But like all the barbs, like I can give them some of the other gin barbs that I have. But like my rope fish and like my betta and my pandagaras and stuff like that, like I'll want to keep those. But like antlers, guppies, a lot of the plants, like it'll be ready and to go. And that's why I haven't been doing any sales either, because I want whoever gets the house next to succeed. And not only would they be getting all this kind of stuff, but they'll also get me to mentor them through it all and market it as well, and all kinds of things from that.
So the place that you're picking up, is it from a fish breeder or anything? How did you find this?
So we've been looking like crazy for a long time.
Right.
And just all around the states, from like Oklahoma, Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, to Florida, Texas, all over the place. And finally we decided, we really want to be in Southwest Florida, and have really been looking for 5 acres plus around there. There's not a lot of options. And this guy just happens to have this property with the ponds and everything, palm trees. He's actually a palm tree kind of like collector, like we do with fish. He collects different palm trees from all around the world.
Oh yeah.
And he's actually a landscaper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's what got him into doing all that. And so there's like actual water lines set up all over the property, zoned out for landscaping and whatnot, which I could use for ponds and everything else as well. Because Sarah wants to get into more of the nursery type of plants and
oh, nice.
Maybe start doing more terrestrial stuff and stuff like that. And then she could get a channel going. We can co-op all that kind of stuff and just make a big deal out of it. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
We're trying to live the dream too.
Cool.
Oh yeah. Well, that's really cool that you were able to, just find somebody that, might not breed and sell fish, but his lifestyle of the landscaping part, because the gentleman across the street from me, he bought that house, and the backyard has like 9 concrete ponds in it, and there's big gazebos everywhere, and the deck goes out really well. The woman owned her own landscaping business, and they did this backyard so customers could come over and see what they could do. So the plants and everything that grows over all the ponds and everything, it was all set up, and he bought it, and he's like, what is all this, but and he doesn't even keep them all full, but he's got a raccoon problem. So
and that's your neighbor?
Yeah, right across the street. Yeah.
Oh my Lord. You need to be like, can I just throw some shrimp in here real quick?
Right. Yeah. But it's really cool because the ponds like go underneath the walkway that goes to the gazebo, comes out the other side, and then everyone like trickles and like kind of like you just made with your pond, how it starts at the top, comes to the bottom, and you would think kind of like it pumps all the way back up top just to keep that circular. Well, that's what his does. So it just restarts, wherever at point A, and then just it all flows down to every single pond, and then just repumps again back to the top.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you're all done with that pond now? You're not going to have to travel back to finish it when you sell the house?
So I probably will have to travel back to finish it. I'm trying to, but everything is so frozen around. There's nothing you can do. Like, it's frozen to the mud. You're not going to go out there and get anything done. It'll take forever. But I have been,
I don't know how you're going to
40, around 40. I try to get out there and do stuff, but it's really close. So I'm just got a little finishing up to do, and like it doesn't have much to do to finish it off.
Right.
Yeah.
So now what are you going to do? Like, you going to leave your ponds on the deck?
No. So those are actually all getting torn down.
Okay.
Because they're just breaking down the
bummer.
Sterilite tubs throughout the years. And the weathering, they've just kind of getting brittle and whatnot.
Oh yeah, that makes
So I'm just going to break those down. And one of those, the backyard where I got it formed is I got 3 flat areas now. Actually, kind of like 4 flat areas now.
Right.
On the top one,
Only-
I was going to actually do a heated ground on it to where I could do that heated outdoor tubbing system, but on a bigger scale with a heated ground, which was going to be epic, but I don't think I'll ever get to that project.
Oh,
No. Like,
that
a
would
part
be
of me, like, it is kind of a battle and a tear between wanting to stay here another year because I know I could do so much within, like, the next year here. But at the same time, having property down there and the way that the area is growing, I think it would be a gamble to wait on moving down there because they just started building this solar city that's right next to Fort Myers and Cape Coral. And North Fort Myers is already growing out. They're building new parks over there. They're building this big old new solar city. All that's going to kind of blend in together. So that I see that value of that area just coming up because there's not a lot of land there. Everything around it's all preserves and stuff. So there's a big tear between that because I will miss this fish room and I would hate to tear it down.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, what if, if somebody wanted to buy the house but they didn't want the stuff in it. Now, the bad thing is I mean, I'm sure you could sell it all pretty darn quick, but then you would have to find homes for all of your livestock that you're not taking, and I mean, that kind of sucked to have to, sell them off and maybe not be selling them to people that, would take care of them as good as you.
Well, yeah, that and just all the work that it takes
It's a lot of bricks.
Systems like this. Yeah, like the system and time involved into building something like this.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time. And if you
it's a lot of years. Yeah.
You're talking about big money if you were to pay somebody or even do it yourself to put this together. I may put probably about $100,000 into the whole system of all the aquariums and the water and everything through all the plumbing and whatnot.
I'm not all that surprised.
Do you think if you stayed another year that you could raise the property value, with knowing what you do, and the skills that you have? Do you think it would be smart to stay and just own the property in Florida? I mean, start setting up and let her go down there and start getting things going, and you just, finish the touches.
Yeah. So we haven't finished the touches and done stuff like that. And I mean, which would just make it cost more later for somebody else. So yeah, I could definitely do that kind of thing. And we have talked about that. But the only problem is trying to finance this house and that house at the same time. We're actually really close to being able to finance them both, but just not close enough.
Right.
Well, you need to have another extra $60,000 down if we would want to finance them both.
You need to start cracking a whip on them guppies and put them out there and get them working.
And that's the thing is, if I did stay here another year and I did actually start managing it and operating it more towards production and sales, then I could do so much more too.
Right.
Because I mean, really, if you were to like I said, and I don't talk about it much, but
well, you said you're only selling at 25%.
You could easily double it.
Right. Oh yeah.
So you could make some stupid money with this fish room.
Right.
And have a lot of fun doing it.
Well, it's also great the way you keep it, and the hard part too is a lot of aquarists they would not be able to do what you do because you have so much knowledge and the way you keep them too.
And that's the thing. If they did get it, and say they had that question, whatever, my number is there for them. Like they would have my number. I would be there. Like, oh well, this for some reason the lights didn't come on here for today or something. Like maybe something tripped or something. Like, oh, this is what you do, or maybe this happened. There's not really a lot that, like, as far as putting out fires, there's not a whole lot of fires that really happen in this.
No, but I'm just
fishing.
saying, being able to keep up with all those aquariums.
That's
you
what
are
I'm saying, to be able to keep up with them. And plus, I got this new water change system that where, let me turn it around. I haven't really showed many people this. Actually, I'll just show you right here. But I do got pumps on my stands now. So you can actually pull the water out. There, you can kind of see it. There you go. So that actually, that'll pull the water out. And, and it's easy to put the water back in. So now doing water changes is a lot easier than it was ever for me.
Where do you siphon your water out to?
Sump pump mostly.
Oh, and then pump it outside?
Yeah. But it actually just bleeds. It actually goes underneath the slab because it never fills up enough.
I just lift the carpet tile and lift up the drain cap and right down the rain, the rainwater thing, and it runs right out to the road.
Right. Because if you do, if you try to put it in a sink or a tub or something like that, they'll charge you for septic as well.
Right.
So if you go through the sump pump, you won't have that issue.
Right. Yeah. Because I was always thinking about that. I was like, why do people do sumps? And then how do they really know how much you?
I'm with you on that
when we
one,
fill up the
Mary
pool,
Paige.
they would charge you so much, and I'm like, why are you charging so much? And they're like, well, that water has to go somewhere, and I'm like, what if it evaporates? You're charging me, you're pre-charging me to run it down the sewer, and I'm not even running it down the sewer.
Right. I think here they actually go off of what you put down the septic more than what you're actually pulling away from it, as far as what the meter reads. Even though, no, they do have a meter on the front too. I've seen it.
Yeah, because if you dump water down your drain, they can't really. So they got to charge you on what you're pulling out of your faucet.
Yeah. But I know some places where that's all. They just have 1 meter on the outline or 1 meter on the inline. It all depends on the water company too.
I just had to have my wife's cousin out here to snake my drains because the weeper tile around the house got clogged up with soot, silt, sand.
Yeah.
And, holy hell, it exploded, went out to the road, and we're clear. He's like, you're good to go. He's like, drain it all down there. I said, okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So Select Pet says, bottle up the old fish water and sell it as houseplant feed.
You probably actually could. Oh my God. There probably would be a market for that, where you could bottle up your aquarium water and sell it for fish food or plant food, terrestrial plant food.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Mary Paige, I'm with you on that one.
It's not a bad idea.
So how many your home's a 2-story?
Yes, it's a 2-story.
Or is it? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was a tri-level or a 2-story.
Yeah, 2-story.
Because it looked like your garage, it's like on a lower level, and then you come in, and then, I didn't know with the way the deck was and everything. The looks are deceiving. I was like, is that a 3-story tri-level, or is that just a 2-story?
Yeah, it's because that backyard sloped, and then with the deck, I could kind of see where you would kind of see that. But yeah, it's 2 stories, 1,500 square foot on each.
Now, have you fixed that thing you spoke about with the hill or with the house and the sinking or whatever?
Oh, yeah. So it has robot legs on it now. So now it won't have any sinking. It can't sink. So that's all settled. Because what happened is I got this property for a pretty good price. Nobody wanted it. It sat for almost 8 years.
Wow.
Water used to run through the garage and everything.
That's crazy, Select.
And there was water that was sitting out in the back, and nobody knew what to do with it. And I just kept watching it, and all these sticks started gathering in this one spot. So I'm like, there's got to be a drain there. That's why the sticks are gathering. And under about yay much dirt was a city drain about yay big. So I went out there with a shovel. Everybody's thinking you're going to have to spend $50,000 to do this, that, and the other. Went out there with the shovel, cleared it off, bada bing, bada boom, problem solved. So now what initiated a lot of the pond build out there as well was to manage that stormwater and contain that stormwater to where there's no chance that it even bleeds into the ground anymore. So now that ground is so solid than it's ever been. Like there's no way, like it's blanked out. I've got, you guys will see it in the new update where I've built rock around the drain and it's got rock wall and all kinds of stuff to where it'll never ever flood again.
That'll be cool.
So you said somebody asked you about your was it Dogecoin you said you had?
With my what?
What did you say you sold to finish the pond out there? Dogecoin, and if you wouldn't have sold it, you'd be leveraged.
Yeah. Oh my God. Why are you even mentioning that?
Yeah, we were talking about that tonight. Vinny said, man, I wish I had a couple dollars to do that. I said, LRB said he had to pull a little out to finish that. And I said, I guess the price went up and he's killing himself for it. And
yeah, I could have been a millionaire. Let me just say that. I would have been a millionaire if I would have not had to pay that extra for that pond. Yeah, that's a kicker. And it's not the first time that's ever happened to me in investing, too.
Yeah, a guy I knew that worked down the street at the pet store. He called me probably, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago. We were talking, and he said, hey, you need to get into this this new type of coin stuff that's coming out. And I was like, what? And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, it's really cheap right now. It's going to be the new thing in the future. I was like, dude, you're crazy. So, you know, it's all exploded and everything. And they're saying, man, if you got in for $10 10 years ago, you're a millionaire. So I was like, man, is this dude a millionaire? He still works at the pet store. So I went up there one day and he's there and I said, hey, come here a minute. He's like, what's up? I said, bro, what did you do with all that coin that you bought? He's like,
Bitcoin?
Yeah, Bitcoin. He's like, dude, I sold it here and there. He's like, I'm so dumb. He's like, oh my God. He's like, I needed money here. I needed money here. He's like, no, I don't have any. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. But at the time I was thinking like, and I still kind of think this way, it's best to invest in myself because I can make more return off of any like gambling because that's really what it is.
Right.
And yeah, no, I should have just left it.
I went on PayPal and I bought $50 in Bitcoin of $50 in that Ethereum or whatever.
Yeah.
It's dropped. One. It's dropped, and I'm like, all right. And everybody's like, oh, don't worry about it. Once you know, the new year tax season and everything, it'll go up. And I'm like, all right, I'm not trying to get rich, but a few $100 would be nice. I mean, you know, but when I heard you say that, I was like, oh no, not another one.
It's one of them things where you got to set it and forget it, and pretty much forget you have it for like the next 5-10 years or something. Yeah, because my buddy called me about AMC when it was $9.80. He's like, bro, get in right now. Hurry up. We're all putting in $1,000. I was like, bro, I don't know anything about what you're talking about. I'm telling you. So I didn't do it. And I think it was 3 days later, it went to $75 a share. I said, bro, you need to get out right now. Oh, it's going to the moon, dude. It's going to be $1,000 a share. Yeah, I think it's like 30 right now or $28 or something. I think it did hit like 200 or something.
Yeah, but I told him, I said, if you would have got out then, just think how much, $1,000?
Right. See, that's the trick is you never know when to get off the ride with it.
Right.
And that's a slippery slope.
Yeah, that's it. But that's the thing is you know, do I get more money? Is this more than what I had yesterday? Even though I might not be rich, you know, I didn't have this $50 yesterday. So, you know, that's the way I look at it, you know, Well, that's yeah, it's I don't want to take
All
up
right,
Kevin's whole stream here with asking a bazillion questions, but I
well,
just appreciate.
it's been about. Go on, Brian.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I don't, I'll save you for when you can come over and hang out in my neck of the woods. But I just wanted to say how much I
Yeah,
appreciate
that would be
Kevin
awesome.
allowing me to come on here and you giving me some of your time and just letting some stuff out with kind of some, it's not secret information, but when it comes to letting people know that, hey, you don't have
thank
to
you, Lucas.
have a bazillion tanks to make a lot of money. You just got to have good product.
Yeah.
So
Offer value, have a good
Thank you,
product.
Lucas.
Multiple streams always helps too.
And I'm a huge fan. I've always been a
Thank
huge
you.
fan, and but so it's pretty cool when he said, "Here's the thing." I was telling Papa Shrimp, I said, "Yeah, I don't think I want to go on there. I don't know if he knows if he wants somebody else on there." And he's like, "He sent you the stream." I was like, "All right, here we go."
Well, I'm glad you could join us for sure.
Yeah, I don't. I guess
I
I'll
told
try
you to
to
come on up.
send you
It
a
was
message
really nice
to your.
having you. I was wondering when the heck you'd get in here.
I gotta get your email or something and send you a message. So
yeah, LRB Aquatics at gmail.com. Send me an email.
Oh, okay.
We'll set
All
something up.
right. Yeah, I'll send you a message and we'll come hang out in the city over here and I could pick your brain a little more.
Right.
But like I said, I don't want to steal you too much from over here. Kevin's being very very nice. Let me come over here and ask you a bunch of questions. So I appreciate
Thank you both.
Well, I love the
really,
questions. Those
I
were
really
good. They're a little
appreciate it.
out of the normal.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing is, if I ask you the same stuff, you're gonna sit here and go, "Really? You did nothing else? It's all you got?"
Yeah.
But if I ask you, what you eat for breakfast, you're gonna be like, "Where's this guy coming from?" Okay,
Right.
let's roll with it. I just like to chop it up, a little different. So, it's not the
thank
same
you.
freaking thing every time. Look, I have other questions. When somebody's doing
Thank you
an
both.
interview, I'm like, ask them this. Stop asking them. Stop asking them what the easiest shrimp to breed is. Everyone knows the answer. Stop it. Ask them something else. But no one does. So I like to come in with there's, mostly just make you laugh and, they're silly, but sometimes they're important, like how do you make good cash, so.
Yeah.
But all right,
Thank you,
I will
Brian.
get
Thank
off
you,
here,
Lucas.
let you guys
I
do your
appreciate it.
thing. And
Well,
I just
it's
want to say thank
actually
you guys
been
so
2
much for
hours.
letting me come on here and say hi.
Thank you
Glad to
both
see you
for
again,
your
bro.
time. I am going to end it because I've taken up enough of your time, Lucas. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much, Brian, for coming up and asking those questions and having a chat with us. I really appreciate it. Oh, really quickly, Ian is asking, planaria.
Oh,
I guess both of you. Planaria.
And of course, he was just joking. But I guess I had to. I mean, it wouldn't be a live stream if I didn't answer this. Is it serious? I still got to make a video on that. You would think I would have made a video on that, but I think he's trolling me here because it's a question I get asked on every live stream.
He was joking,
Yeah.
but I had to put that one up there.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank
Kevin.
you,
I
Lucas,
appreciate
so much
that.
for coming. I appreciate. I had to ask.
Right.
Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. I know I've taken up way more time, so thank you. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for hanging in there with us. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe if you guys have not already. And go check out Lucas's links. They're pinned and in the description. So please go and check him out and go look at his channel. He's got a lot of good info. And thank you so much for coming, Lucas.
Thank you,
Have a
Kevin,
good one,
for
everybody.
And thank you all
Bye.
for joining us. Peace.
Yeah, thanks
Have a
everyone
great
for
one.
joining us. Thank you, Lucas. Have a good night.
You too. Later.
Bye, everyone.